please have roll call?
Chairman Wayne M. Richards.
Present.
Vice Chair Jean Ellen Wright. Here. Secretary Treasurer Georgie Mastics. Here. Commissioner Blair J. Sickles. Here. Commissioner Peyton W. MacArthur.
Here.
Executive Director Manuel Almira.
I'm here.
Port Counsel Greg Page.
Here.
Mr. Chair, we have a quorum.
Thank you. Will you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Have my colleagues had an opportunity to review the minutes, and if so, is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
A motion has been made and properly seconded. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? None. Motion carries. Thank you. Mr. Almira, do we have any additions, deletions, presentations, and/or announcements?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The answer to three of those are yes. We have two additions on the consent agenda, E5 and E16. We also have two presentations, one for Commissioner George E. Mastics, Board of Commissioner, and also for the presentation of the security by Mr. K. Hearn. And also under E13, we'd like to postpone that until the October meeting.
Okay, do we need a motion? I assume we need a motion to postpone E13.
I have a motion to accept the additions.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion has been made and properly seconded. Commissioner Sickles?
What's E16, is that just?
Yes, that's the check signing resolution.
We'll have a brief presentation where you get to consent for that.
Okay.
For Commissioner, please. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. We are now on D1. Court presentation for Commissioner George Mastics. I'm going to read a resolution from this board. George, we're going to stand around you. Do you want us to stand up here, or do you want to go down there?
I'm right here.
All right, all right. We're going to take our photo over here as well. If we can come over here. I'm going to read this first. A resolution of the Port of Palm Beach District Board of Commissioners honoring George E. Mastics for his service to the Port of Palm Beach District. Whereas Port of Palm Beach Commissioner George E. Mastics dedicated a career spanning over 3 decades to public service. And whereas Attorney Mastics received his Bachelor of Arts and Juris Doctor degrees from Case Western Reserve University and a Legislative Leadership Diploma from Bethany College. And whereas, before moving to Palm Beach County, Mastics fulfilled the duties of Assistant Attorney General for Northeast Ohio and was elected a representative to the Ohio House of Representatives for 4 terms, where he sponsored over 100 bills that became law. And whereas, with over 6 decades of experience and extensive legal expertise as a trial attorney, partner, shareholder, and director of Montgomery, Lytle, Ryder, Denny, and Sears CPA, later called Searcy, Denny, Scarola, Barnard, and Shipley, his credentials include admission to the Florida and Ohio state bars, as well as the state and federal courts, including the Supreme Court of the United States. And whereas George E. Mastics was elected in 1996, duly sworn into office on January 7, 1997, by the Honorable Edward Garrison, Circuit Court Judge for the 15th Judicial Circuit, West Palm Beach, Florida, as a Port of Palm Beach District Commissioner, and subsequently re-elected for 3 more consecutive terms in 2000, 2004, and 2011. And whereas, during his tenure at the Port of Palm Beach, Commissioner Mastics was an ex officio member of the Economic Council of Palm Beach County, a former member of the overall Economic Development Program for Palm Beach County, Floridians for Better Transportation, Save the Lake Worth Lagoon Organization, Business Development Board, Metropolitan Planning Board, Foreign Trade Zone number 135 for Palm Beach County, Navy League Palm Beach Council, and the 2002 American Association of Port Authorities Steering Committee. And whereas Commissioner Mastics was instrumental in the district's $130 million capital improvement plan, having served 6 years as chairman and 16 of his 20 years as an officer of the Port of Palm Beach Commission, was presented with Governor's Business Ambassador Medal in 2013. And whereas, after completing his term during an all-time record-breaking revenue year for the Port, Commissioner Mastics will seek new endeavors with his lovely wife, I had lovely, it is true, of over 58 years, Carol Mastics, 5 children, 11 grandchildren, and 2 great-grandchildren. Is that accurate? Therefore, stop counting. Therefore, be it resolved that the Port of Palm Beach Board of Commissioners formally honors Commissioner George E. Mastics for his enduring passion for people of the Port of Palm Beach District and unwavering dedication to legislative leadership and the legal profession, passed and adopted in regular session this 15th day of September 2016 by the Board of Commissioners of the Port of Palm Beach District, signed by your 4 colleagues. Very proud to present this to you, Commissioner Mastics. At this time, I'm going to ask that anybody that wishes to speak for a moment, please line up by the microphone behind Ms. Elmira. Ed, Lori, Mr. Talley, who wishes to say a word, please.
I certainly do. I'd like to start by saying, Commissioner Mastics, you were always an inspiration. No matter what time of the day I called you, you always put me into get it going, make it happen, and don't call here again. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Some people are born to lead, and your contributions to this port and this community are many. And if you think I will ever forget the special help that you gave me when I worked here and you were the commissioner, in my view, George and Carol Mastics will always be the first couple of this port.
George, I came here exactly at the same time as the executive director and looked up to you as the new commissioner, and I always admired the fact that you always were never afraid to speak out your mind and your piece, and I'm glad many of the things that you said have been listened to by this community, and appreciate it. Congratulations.
Can you hear me, George?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good. This is the first time you've ever said you can hear me. It really has been an honor to serve with you and for you, George. I remember when you first got elected and was starting a new era at that time, and I got to work with you on Slip 3 project, even before that, the inland port. Your wisdom, your common sense, and your sense of humor cannot be ignored. And I know a lot of times you sometimes didn't understand exactly what we were trying to do in Tallahassee, but you always understood the intent and what we were trying to achieve, and you were already there very supportive. You know, listening to the proclamation, I think we were all very impressed with such a long, distinguished career, particularly all the bills you passed and everything that you've accomplished. I just have one question. In the 15 years since you've been in the port, you couldn't get a pay raise done? The pay raise, you didn't get it done. God bless you, George.
John Gary.
Well, once again, Commissioner, thank you for everything you've given this board. I think you said 15 years ago, I was looking back at our records to try to see, and it looks to me like we've been attorney for the board for 18 years. But whether it's 15 or 18, George, number one, was there and leading things to help us get in the first time we ran, and ever since then, he's backed us. We've also got great feedback from George. Anytime there was something, George was always there for us to go sit down and talk and to get his experience and what he thought. So once again, thanks so very much. We'll miss you.
Thank you, John.
George, we go back a long time, and I think back
Louder, please.
15 years ago, I'm really not sure whether I was running the Chamber of Commerce at that point or not, but I've watched you over the years. I haven't been to every meeting, but your leadership, I think, has really stood out, and like I told you a few minutes ago, you have a lot to be proud of, and you've left your mark, and I wish you good health and love to Carol. Thank you.
Taylor, welcome.
Thank you. George, my friend, I'm really honored to be here today to congratulate you. My first political office was here at the port. You and Blair and some of the others, Ed, really introduced me into political life. That life became a friendship. I can remember going to your house, and my husband at the time, you know, he drew that picture. I think he drew the picture, and I saw you with the Mr. America picture of you at the house, which all, you know, was so, you know, so good. I just wish you the best. You were smart, very knowledgeable, and I enjoyed serving with you. And I just wish for the best for you and Carol. So thank you for allowing me to say a few words.
I'd just like to say, George, that one thing that you should be most proud of is that you've always, in the long years that we've both been here, you've always voted your conscience. You've always voted what you thought was best for the port, no matter being, you know, lobbied by whoever or people telling you what to do. You always, to this day, did what you thought was right, and I appreciate that. And I'll always remember you as a stand-up commissioner and one of the best that we've ever had. So thank you for serving.
George, I'm the newest guy on this dais, but if you remember, we had breakfast at Hamburger Heaven in Palm Beach before you got ready to run. And we talked about running, and then I had the pleasure of taking you to your first venture at the Century Village Democratic Club. And it was wonderful. We stood up to Saul Silverman, if you remember, who wasn't going to let you in the door. But he did, and you've been an incredible asset to the Board of Port Commission, and your integrity has been the standard by which we should all judge each other. And I'd like to say you've done many wonderful things, but the smartest and most wonderful thing you ever did was marrying Carol.
George, I just want to say I'm going to miss you, and I love you. You know that. Sometimes we go places, and George would say, she's my second wife. But one thing about George, he would always speak his mind. At the end of the day, no matter what happened, George would say the words that we wish we could say, and he would speak the minds of all of us. I mean, up here, George would just blur out things, and in your mind, you were thinking just when you blurred it out. Isn't that interesting? So, George, we're going to miss you. I love you, your family, you're good people, you're first class act, and God bless you.
George, I've enjoyed serving with you. I recall our initial conversation. You're extremely smart, very logical, very straightforward. You analyze things. I recall when I told you I was going to run for office, and you shared with me, not that you were helping me be a colleague of yours, but you made it very clear to win in this district, you pretty much should be of this party, and you need to do A, B, and C. You're a very smart person. I've enjoyed working with you. My biggest thoughts of who is George, you're a very strong man. You're very strong, you're smart, you're strong, you don't back down. And I will admit, at times where I thought it would be expedient to settle a little bit, not George. Do the right thing, be strong, move forward. I love you as well. I respect you, and you're a great man. Thank you for your service.